Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode. Today we're going to be here to talk about Bleach episode 21, The Headless Star. And as always, I have here with me Raul
Howdy, howdy.
and Ramon.
What's up, guys?
So this is an episode that I'm not too happy to be talking about just because I thought it was very very meh of an episode. But Raul, you insisted that we should be consistent, so I applaud you for keeping us on track. Something about your main character being gone for almost 8 episodes and then coming back and beating a woman just didn't sit right with me. But if that's your kind of thing, I can't wait to hear how much you love Ichigo beating on those poor defenseless women. But Raul, tell us what you thought about the episode, man.
I understand kind of where you're coming from, but I think that you might be feeling that way because of the last episode, because you had like a ton of anticipation for the last episode. So like now going back into normal Bleach is it doesn't kind of stand up to what that was, but it was fine. Like it wasn't great, but there were different things that I liked about it, besides the fact that Ichigo finally showed up, and then at the end of it you got Chad and Orihime, but there were definite several things that I liked, and so like especially like a big reference that I also saw. So
Oh yeah, no, you definitely saw something big that you liked, and those were Orihime's boobs. So
that's always been a weird thing about it.
I am almost 100%. That's the only reason why you wanted to do this episode. But Ramon, what about you?
Yes,
did the boobs do it for you, or did they not?
I don't know, man. I kind of see. I'm gonna be the middle ground between both of you guys. Like, I definitely, I was kind of like briefly talking to Carlos right before we started, Raul, and I was telling him I think this episode to me felt more like a stepping episode, like stepping point. Because I'm like, Ichigo just came down to literally about to head back up. So it's like one of those things that by the end of the episode, you're like, oh man, this is about to kind of move again. We kind of saw the true purpose of Yhwach. And so it's kind of one of those things that you're just like, oh man, no, but you know what? There was really good points to the episode that I liked. I think for me, because Bleach is still so relatively really new. And I know perhaps like the rest of the journey for you guys wasn't always with the Quincy's. I think like I really enjoy watching like and seeing the powers of all these like Quincy's, right? Every time we get a Sternritter and they're doing something, like I do enjoy to see what their letter stands for. And maybe it's not direct, but like, there was a couple like characters from this one, like Z. That Sternritter Z was probably really fun. Like, her little zombie blood splatter kind of control thing. Like, so yeah, there's a lot of elements of this episode that at least made it entertaining for a second. But then yes, I think the overall like part of the story just kind of it's just there.
No, it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting, like if the zombie, her blood would have landed on Ichigo, because I would have to have seen how you fight that off, in a way that doesn't end up with you having to stab yourself.
Yeah.
No, yeah, and the thing too is so right now that you were talking, Ramon, I kind of realized so like in this whole 1,000-year blood war thing, they're definitely showcasing the Quincy's a lot more than the captains, because they're assuming that you saw the previous Bleach where the captains were definitely a lot more showcased, especially as they were like starting to appear for Ichigo and stuff like that. So now that they're definitely not showcasing the captains, so for somebody like you that's starting with this arc or whatever, then then it's really not going to. It's definitely going to be very lopsided towards the Quincy's and their story and what they can do and all that stuff.
It's entertaining, even though I know it doesn't really lead anywhere because they always get their asses kicked. So it's like, but it's entertaining for a little bit just to see what kind of like, I guess, potential they have, and then it's all just gone. So, but at least they got to beat up on Kenpachi. So
yeah. I think for me this episode kind of brought something that I wanted to talk about. But I've been lately very involved with like the Twitter community with Bleach. And something that I just kind of have always noticed is that people that watch Bleach, people that watch like Naruto, or people that watch One Piece, they will always hype up the episodes, no matter whether the episodes were actually like not very well done or they were just kind of like okay. But nobody will ever say like, oh, hey, in these communities, nobody will ever say like, oh, this episode wasn't that good. And that's the thing, man. Like, I feel like I'm a very hardcore Bleach fan. Like, I love Bleach. I'm not, obviously, this episode didn't hurt me at all because I do know it's just a stepping point for the next battle that's going to happen. I just feel that, I can say as a Bleach fan, like, this one was all right, man. Like, there's no, like for me to come in here and just say, like, this is all right, and if people felt that way, like, it's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that all of a sudden your show is not as good as, like, a Naruto or One Piece. It's just that people need to be a little bit more upfront about it. Like, hey, I love this show for these reasons. It has given me great moments. And every once in a while, like, they're not all going to be like Kenpachi versus Grammy, sadly. And, it was kind of nice to, like, see some people that were actually humans and actually do have those thoughts. Like, hey, I saw the Bleach episode. Technically, I don't have anything to say about it. Nothing cute happened about it. But I think people just need to be a little bit more honest about, like, not always hyping up to be like I saw somebody being like, this was the best episode of all of them. And I'm like, dude, like I don't know if you're just at this point, like, just trying to get attention or likes. And I will say there has been a fan base since the very beginning for these chicks. I think they're called like Bambis. I think that's like their group. The gang is called like the Bambis. So there has been major love on, like, from what I see on Twitter for these ladies. So I do feel like some people probably, when they say this was the best, it probably could have been the truth, man, because from the very beginning, they have been hyping up these ladies. So I think, like, so I'm almost like, and if that was the case, this was truly the best episode because you were looking forward to these ladies. Nothing wrong with that. Again, I was here more for, like you said, like the Grammy versus Kenpachi, which I got the last round of the last episode. So maybe that's the whole thing. It's just like, I'm coming from that episode. This episode's just a plot point to move it forward. I was waiting for some really cool animation scenes, which there was some of it, like, towards the end. But again, it just, I don't know, it just felt more like a kind of like a little silly of an episode for me. And that's kind of where I'm coming from.
I mean, if you're saying that group is probably one of the bigger reasons why at least some people, like, really enjoyed this episode, like, I mean, let's talk about it. Like, because I thought they were pretty cool in general, right? Again, nothing super impressive because I feel like, just like what I said earlier, it's like all these Sternritters, they might be super powerful, and then once they do their power up, it's really cool to see what more they can do. But I think it's that's where it falls short. So you see the discovery, you see their powers, and they use it, and then that's about it. But I don't know. So I do like the beginning where they're, like, obviously fighting freaking Kenpachi because they all feel like they still have a chance. They're all super shocked that the fight with Grammy did not hurt them worse. Like, dude's still moving around like a beast. So it's just kind of cool to see them, like, all attempt to, like, everyone take turns trying to do something to him, and he just kind of, like, evade or just not, like, do anything. But Ichigo interrupted that fight real quick. But I don't know, which one of the girls was, like, your favorite, and, like, what would you guys like about them? Because I think that Z one for me was kind of the most fun to watch, especially when she busted out with her little skeleton power.
I'll say this, that so and to backtrack a little bit before I answer your question, I think one of the best things about Bleach is how many different, like, unique personalities and people that they can have. Because, like, in anime, you in general, you typically only have, like, a few different, like, visuals on what they look like. But the big thing is that they all kind of have, like, there's some archetypes, but then you sometimes have, like, these very weird different personalities, and Bleach definitely, like, every single person is different. And I totally got that with this group. So I'll start. So my favorite is mostly probably because of the personality part of it, and then just how, like, out of nowhere it came, the mouth chick.
The glutes. The glutes. I think it was the G.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, because like, out of nowhere she just, like, shows up and she's like, "Why is everyone being so loud?" and then all of a sudden, like, her cheek goes out and just, like, bites off the heads of all these Soul Reapers or whatever. So I don't know. I like her.
I didn't like how they kind of were all killing these, like, lower class swordsmen, and Kenpachi was just right there. Like, they were trying to protect, like, they were trying to be loyal and protect Kenpachi. And then they all were, like, getting murdered instantly. And I'm like, dude, like, Kenpachi, you're right there, dude. Like, save them. Like, just because they don't have, like, it's almost like Star Trek, like, they're red shirts. So it's like, okay, well, they're a red shirt. So, anything can happen to them. But it's like, I genuinely felt bad for them.
Well, I mean, wait. Oh, there was that one. What was Kenpachi so focused on? Oh, because he hasn't found that one. What was she? The
Yes.
lieutenant,
Oh, the lieutenant.
Yachiro. Yeah,
The lieutenant disappear, like no traces, like her uniform's like on the
that
ground,
was her batch. Yeah.
which again, it kind of goes with the whole theory about like her being Kenpachi's sword. And I know in the last episode we got the name of the sword, so I don't know if when he like said it out loud, that's like what made her disappear. But hopefully we get a little bit more of that when he truly goes Bankai, because I would love to again get a firm explanation of what's going on with her. Like they can't just drop that mystery and like never address it.
No, and then especially now that she's missing, like, right?
And that's the thing too, though. Like, I wonder if we're gonna get a Bankai anytime soon, because like it took this long for him to even get the name of his Sanpakto. So like unless like the progression gets that much more, because he's fighting against like insanely more powerful people.
Yeah.
Like I don't think that he's gonna get to Bankai anytime soon.
Well,
Well,
from
you know,
somebody
it
that
wasn't
read the manga, I can say he will get to Bankai. I
spoiler
gotta.
alert, you asshole. No, okay.
I mean, I gotta like hear, and you know, again, I do say it throughout every episode.
Spoiler.
That I read this whole thing, but I mean, is it a? I mean, we know he has
No.
it, and I just wanted to like let you know, like it might not be in the next 5-10 episodes, but I think we will complete this whole arc with seeing his Bankai if that gets you a little bit more excited.
Dude, that's gonna be badass.
He's already like closing his eyes and thinking about it. Yeah.
Well, you know, the one I want to answer Ramon's question, but the one that I like from the Bambis, that's what I'm gonna call them. I like the Thunder one, because I think in the last episode, you know, when we got the hint for what this episode's gonna be, like I really like the quote. It's like struck by thunder, you're on your knees. That is my desire. So clearly that was talking about like this Thunder girl. I think she seemed, now that the other explosion one is gone, like it feels like she's technically the leader of the group. And I did like the fact that she was kind of like, she went like up against Ichigo the most, or she was trying like the hardest to like get him, and she even got hit with, you know, Ichigo's new power up weapon move, and you know she survived it. She lost a hand. Even Ichigo was like, "Don't block, dodge." But she was the one that kind of like stuck, like for me, Ramon, like she visually was the one that I was a little bit more like expecting more of from the group.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I really liked her for that. I like their interaction between Ichigo and her, like you said, because he was doing that crazy power the second time, and she should have known better by this. And he's the one that told her, it's like, yeah, it's like, Dacha, you idiot. And then she still didn't. But no, and then I mean, and I guess that's kind of like brings me up to like the one that I like was definitely Z. I mean, her ability, again, we were talking about those lower class, like, Soul Reapers. She was the first one that was like, "Oh, like I can't fight. I'm sorry. Don't even try. Like I'm not going to do that for you." And then she gets slashed, and then basically reveals that her freaking blood allows her to be able to control them. And then right away she's like, "Kill yourselves." And it's like, dude, I think, see, that's what I'm saying. It's like there's something about that dominance and confidence of these people, because someone with those abilities can potentially be really, really strong. But I don't know if it's just she's always kind of being treated like that, like kind of a submissive, and she's just it's okay with not like, you know, taking orders from like T, from the Sternritter T, and perhaps that's why she doesn't do more. Later when she's trying to fight Ichigo, she does her little, what is it called, the little bones. That was pretty cool too, right? She does her power up. She has these cool like bone wings with super cute skulls all over the place, and then she does have her little like dancing. The Dancing Dead Boys Club was the name of that move. And she just had a bunch of little skeletons try to attack Ichigo, and you know, again, maybe not the most formidable or look the more craziest of like fighters, but I think, you know, she brought something different. And I don't know if we should be getting distracted by silly like antics like that, but it was something.
You know, like people love One Piece, Ramon. I think one of the things that they love about One Piece is that there's a lot of like silliness to it. So it's kind of, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess it's kind of nice to like have an episode where it can be like, hey, like you can kind of look back and say like, you know, Bleach doesn't just take itself very seriously. Like we can't have like these one moments where we try to bring some laughter, some jokes, some silliness. And you can tell there's probably going to be people, like I already mentioned, that are either we're looking forward to these people because maybe they want to cosplay. And because if you've ever seen like some of the, I don't know if you've ever seen some of these Quincy cosplayers, but I can tell you anytime that I've seen one, like they stand out because obviously the uniform is very wide, very clean. And it's, you know, it's just in a very positive way. I think if you ever see one, you will get really excited. So if you ever see one of these Bambi people in a cosplay, whether it's in Chicago or anywhere in the world, like you're gonna get really excited because, you know, they're doing it right. So it's like, yeah, like, you know, I'm always happy when people like some of these random characters because for some reason they feel an attachment to them.
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
are we gonna talk about the whole like Sailor Moon type of moment or the
Yeah.
Power Ranger moment?
Well,
When they're going like
the-
individual and then like the whole
Dude,
Yeah.
so
thing.
like, just real quick, like, so I've been watching. I started like episode 1 of the Superman animated show on Max, and he goes through a Sailor Moon transformation. So after I saw, so after I saw Superman do his Sailor Moon transformation, like I'm kind of broken on that. But you guys can talk about it.
well, I mean,
Like-
even yeah. I mean,
No,
even
it's just
just a
like
scene later.
Yeah, because you can't recover from after you see Superman. Trust me, after you see Superman, it's like like you cannot recover from that.
I kind of want to go watch it now just for that reason.
Yeah, I kind of want to see it too.
It's very anime, like the style, the way Clark Kent
really?
is portrayed. Like I'm actually like really like the first episode, so I might continue to watch it.
Dude,
But that whole
quick
transformation.
question. I know this is not Bleach, but is it very like only for kids, or would I find it interesting too?
I found it
You are a
interesting
kid.
because I feel like the jokes were like a little bit above the adult, and you can watch it with your kid.
I'll watch it.
And then when Superman was fighting like some robots, it wasn't like I'm Superman and I'm here to like punch all these robots. Like he was getting his like butt whooped. So I'm like, okay, it's almost like they're establishing this Superman's not gonna be like the almighty Superman that we know now. It's still kind of him starting his whole like journey. So I did like it. And then there's the whole relationship between him and Lois Lane. It's like, would they not get together? They clearly like each other.
Oh my god. Okay.
So
I got into it.
Okay. All right. So
now-
back to Bleach.
Okay, Sailor Moon. No, but even when the Bambi started taking out their little like freaking ray, freaking arrow and bow, like they're all taking out the little pocket heart little things that they have, and it was kind of really cute. It was very like Power Rangers, very Sailor Moon. But I don't know. I mean, I think that's what works for them. I think, like Carlos said, I think it's like the idea of like having a group and people cheer for them and they believe in that group. It's different, right? Like none of the other Sternritters really have that dynamic so far. Everybody's kind of on their own. Everybody's like trying to beat the best, and at this point, everybody's trying to kill Ichigo their own way. But these girls, like for some reason, are stuck together, even though there's like that friendly competition. And I think G, like Sternritter G, at one point said, this is the first time we agree about something. So you can tell they're like a loving family. They're always arguing. They're always doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But I don't know, the fight. We didn't talk about the power. But she did something cool in the very beginning with those like lower ranked dudes. She dropped a whole ass like building on top of them. I don't know if you guys caught that because it was so quick. But even that, like again, so I'm saying like people who are like they're really strong, but then again you put them against someone like Ichigo and they just all of a sudden seem like they're silly and they're playing Sailor Moon in a Bleach TV show. I'm like, okay,
yeah, dude. The thing with me though is like I don't know. I like when creators of like certain shows make references to other things. Like I don't know, because if you think about it, like all these creators, they must like the genre or like what they do. So they gotta be fans of other stuff. So like even with movies or whatever, even out of anime, but yeah, like especially having a show like Bleach, which is like one of the big three, reference like such a like classic other anime or I don't know if it was on purpose. I'm guessing it was on purpose. Like make a reference like that. I was like, yes. I don't know. I thought it was just really cool. Even though I hadn't seen Superman first episode of that animation on Max.
No, you guys are definitely like maybe this is one of those episodes where if I would have been watching it with you guys because you're definitely taking like my cynical self that was just like not my Bleach and like now I'm finding like kind of the joy and love of it. I don't know what it was, man. The part that honestly, the part that got me really excited in the whole episode was when I got to see Aizen. I was really excited like to see Aizen.
The 2 seconds of Aizen.
The 2 seconds of Aizen. Like I was like, there's my ruler.
I think I didn't note that down because I put Aizen question mark and not like who's Aizen. But for you guys, I was like, what was the point of this? Like, what role is Aizen gonna play in this battle? Like,
so Aizen's whole purpose in the last arc was to get to the Soul King. So the fact that like a pad has been opened, I think that kind of got his attention.
Oh, okay, that makes sense because that's kind of where I was like a little confused. It's like, okay, cool. Like I know who Aizen is and I know how like crazy he is, but it's like, why is this relevant at this moment? Especially because that was it. It was just like 2 seconds of his like freaking
And I know,
confined.
and I know the Zero Squads, they're not idiots, so I know they purposely had Ichigo break these barriers to probably like go ahead and get this guy to go up there. So they're not idiots. So it's just kind of like I wonder what their whole plan is. You know, obviously they think they can handle him once he goes up there, but you know, it's just kind of. I guess the question I have for you guys: why was Ichigo able to break the barriers, but you know, Bakuga, Renji, Rukia, why weren't they able to break the barriers? Was he going at a faster speed? Is that what was happening? Is that the understanding?
No, I think that they also referenced that what they were wearing was
Yeah,
because Zero Squad, like,
had their
it was
hair
made out
and
of and all
Bone
that
from
stuff.
here.
Zero Squad, so that he could break through the 72 layers or whatever. So I, because if you remember when Renji and Rukia showed up, they were wearing the same thing.
yeah.
So I think that they could have, but they didn't necessarily want them to break it, because as soon as they break it, that means that the other ones are probably going up,
But
or because
I,
they're aware of the fact that it takes a while. So I don't know. I'm guessing it was strategic, and it wasn't that they, because you saw the stairwell, and
yeah,
then they probably also knew that Ichigo was the type to try to break through all of them, and the
I
other
guess
ones would be more cautious.
I don't know. It's like making me wonder, even though I don't want to wonder. But it's just like, yeah, like I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, with Renji and Rukia traveling at such like a low speed, they were very carefully able to go through it without breaking it. I don't know. It's just something I don't want to think about it. But I did kind of, again, I was just kind of like, well, why did Ichigo break it, but not these other folks?
Well, I mean,
Well, they could have flash stepped down.
well,
Yeah,
considering that it is like now an important detail, like I don't think it's super important to know, but it is interesting to think about. So,
yeah,
Oh no,
good
no, but you
question.
know what too though, because like when Ichigo went down, the invasion had already started. And they said that it would take them 2 weeks or a week to get down. So when Renji and Rukia, when they went down, like the invasion hadn't started yet. Like
yeah.
when
But
they
they,
showed
but
up, it had started already. But if it took a week, they would have left a week before. Because if you remember, that Renji got his Senpakuto, like way earlier than Ichigo, because Ichigo still went back home and it went through his like learning about his past and all that stuff, and then went back up there, and then he went through his training. So Renji probably had already gone through all that stuff and left like a week earlier, and with Rukia on the way down. So that's probably just the timing of when they arrived was the thing.
I don't know, man. I think we're spending too much time thinking about it because now, even like honestly, I could fire back, but I think we need to get off the how did they get there? But even
Yeah.
now, I'm questioning like I don't know, Ro. I don't know. It's a mystery. We need the creator Kubo to address this
Well,
Tell
a
them
manga form.
why.
that's just my rationale as to
I
why they probably did it that way.
I'm gonna regret this, but I'm probably gonna ask this on Reddit and get like 100 replies. So
Yeah, do
I'll
it.
follow up.
I
I'll
want to know what
follow
they
up
say.
next. Yeah,
Let us
no.
know what people say. No, I mean, another cool part about the episode, I guess, is just everybody continuing to identify Ichigo as that special threat. Because obviously, after
Special threat
Boz,
number one.
oh yes, number one, after Boz B and his finger blaster ability. No, but yeah, after he came in, he kind of like pushed the freaking girls like out of the way. Like, then you saw more Sternritters, and they're all like, "Yeah, I want to be the one that kills him," and they're all kind of just like hung over the idea of just like being the one to like defeat Ichigo, and not necessarily that they can, because we know at this point like Ichigo is clear not even like on their level, or maybe he's just kind of zoomed past everybody, but just the idea that they're also focused on him right now, and he's just more focused on what's going on with Yhwach and everything else going on now with that tunnel being open up. So I mean, I still like the idea of seeing them all kind of get all hot and freaking turned on about the fact that they can potentially kill him, and then he just doesn't even care. He's just kind of like,
Get the
nope.
glory.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so at this point, do you guys think we've gone through the whole ABC with these Stern readers? Like everybody, like there's no like if we were to count from like the last part one and part two, we probably at this point like they're all on the table, right? Like there's no longer any mystery, there's no longer anybody hiding. Like these people that we finally see like around Ichigo, those are it. Those are the last remaining ones.
It feels like it. I mean, it feels like it because like again, I think this episode, like we were mentioning earlier, I feel like it's like that stepping stone to the next part of the fight, which clearly is going to be being in the royal palace. And so I feel like it for them to spend maybe another episode to have another Sternritter come in just doesn't make sense, and it might just kind of frustrate us a little bit more of just sitting here and still seeing another Sternritter doing his powers and not really accomplishing anything. So hopefully it is the end of them, you know, because also we haven't seen anybody besides Grammy that was truly even capable. I mean, we haven't seen what's his name, B fight yet, and I think he's the one that we're most anticipated, but he's already been introduced. We just haven't seen him fight yet. So yeah, I don't think there's more. Or maybe
by B, are you talking about the one guy that was watching the fight between Grammy and Kenpachi from a distance?
Maybe not be the blonde guy that's with Yhwach. With
the scale.
The
scale
or whatever.
Oh yes,
the scale.
Wait,
the scale. It was a scale.
I mean the scale, but what was his letter? I mean, I guess not the matter.
S?
But yeah, the scale.
S.
Yeah. Oh,
I think it's S, and then I think.
I thought he was A.
No, Ichida's A.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, just kidding.
Okay, but yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I don't know who else would even matter to bring in, and Grammy was even a surprise to me. Not that I would know much, but just even him, they have never shown him, and I had no clue that kid even existed. But by this point, like we've seen a lot of the people, we've seen a lot of the crazy characters coming out, and even whether you've seen them in a fight or not, they're around, they're already been there. But again, what's the point of them giving us another fight with the Sternritter if it's not going to be like beneficial to like the story plot? Like I don't know. I'm hoping it does kind of start speeding up through it. Like, take us to the Royal Palace and see what happens up there.
Squad Zero, have them fight.
Yeah.
I want to see them fight at least.
Yeah. I mean, have you guys seen them at all? Is Squad Zero something new? Like, maybe not like new in the concept, but like new as far like you guys seeing them in action?
Yeah. When they came down was the first time that I knew that they existed.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah, I mean they were referenced in the original, but you know, you don't pay attention, they can truly go past you. Even like the Soul King was referenced, and it's something that you kind of goes past you because you're not really thinking about it, and some of these bigger plot points. But no, yeah, man, the guy that was looking at the Grammy Kenpachi fight from a distance, he kind of had another line in this one where it's like, once the leader of the Quincy's kind of, stood up, and all of a sudden you see like this ray of light. He kind of said like, "Oh, I wonder if I will be chosen." So that kind of also got me a little bit like, I wonder what that means.
Yeah, well, I wonder what that means too. Yeah, because I heard him. Because I have a feeling that like pretty much all the other Sternritters at some point they're all gonna die, and then the three that went up, are gonna pretty much take all the power of the Richi or Raichi or whatever of all the Sternritters that die. In order to get more powerful to fight the Squad Zero and Soul King.
So Ro, the blonde guy, the one that you said was the letter B, you're right, he is the letter B, and his thing is called, he's the balance.
Yeah.
The balance. Yeah. That makes sense. Cool. Sorry, I'm like looking at the list because now I'm like, probably spoilers for me, so don't look it up, but I'm trying to see like if we haven't seen any of these guys.
But that's what I told you, that is one of the fun things. Again, might not be the craziest episode, but it is fun to see like what letters assigned to them and then what about it. Because with Grammy, he was like V, and I think that was probably one of the cooler ones.
For Vanish.
Damn it.
No.
Like I'm reading some of these powers, and like I'm just gonna say some of these, but there's the letter L, which is the love, and like
for loser.
No, the love. So it's like, okay, we haven't seen that person, and I guess it's a male.
The love Hashira.
And then there's one called the Miracle, which I'm like, okay, have we seen the Miracle? So this is like, okay, now I'm just kind of thinking about it. We might have seen the Miracle. Could have been one of the ones that
they died quickly.
Yeah, they died in the last part one. But yeah, like I don't want to go too much into these, but I'm like,
or one of the ones that Kenpachi killed off screen.
Yeah. But I don't know, man. I guess I just, I'm hoping that in the next episode, I mean, we do get, I talked about Raul, like about what's his name, Ichigo's friends. They showed up, so I don't know if you want to.
Chad and Orihime.
Orihime and Chad, yeah. So they showed up. I mean, is there anything cool to say about them?
Well, we didn't really see anything special about Chad. Well, I guess they had different outfits on. Like, who knows if they're fighting or anything. Or training or what they were doing before this, but Like
They're-
Orihime definitely seemed more confident, and she's not the very confident type. But she was able to stop the big blasting of arrows from.
Yeah,
I mean-
they're dressed like Arankars, right? Like their outfits are Arankar based.
Do you think they became?
No, I just think they needed an outfit change, and they're like, "Well, you're in our Arankar world. Like, here's some outfits, some clothes."
Get some outfits. Those are leftovers. I mean, that
Oh
scene
yeah,
was still.
because what's his name was with him, wasn't he?
Yeah, Grimjaw.
Oh yeah.
But wasn't that scene supposed to be significant of the fact that Ishida is like picking? Like, this is the first time Ichigo has seen Ishida basically be like following
On
the
the
wrong
other
team.
side.
And the other
Yeah.
side, and that first interaction between them two is very much like Ichida, like what the hell are you doing? Like, you're on the wrong side, you're with the wrong people. And then, you know, it's like it reminds me of so many movies and shows where like the bad guy master is just kind of like, you know, taking this apprentice and is saying like, hey, no, like, tell him goodbye. Like, this is your new life. You know, freaking Karate Kid, Naruto, like all these people. And it was that scene of him being like,
have the high ground.
like,
Yeah.
say your goodbyes. And, you know, like Chad and Orihime did show up at that pivotal moment. And it's basically like Dum and Ichigo all got to witness that the truth, right? That at this point, Ichida is picking to go with the Quincy's. He believes now to be that's his rightful place. And so it's kind of that like terrible, like goodbye, like, but you know, in their back in their minds, they're still thinking like, what are you doing? Like, we're going to save you. Like, come back.
Like,
Yeah. It's like Sasuke going with
that's what I,
Orochimaru. Yeah, true. Like,
that's what I was thinking when I first said it. I'm like, oh man, like,
like the Quincy Lord, he's not an idiot also, so he has to know that Ichida is there to like kind of like find out about him, find his weakness, try to defeat him from the inside.
possibly.
So it's just so like I feel like maybe, and I don't know this, but I feel like he has to have like some kind of motive, like either he's trying to like get Ichida's power, because that's what he's doing. I mean, a lot of these Quincy's, as they die, he takes back the power and the memories. So I don't know if that's like what he's doing with him. Like, okay, let me power you up. Let me have you reach your next potential level, and when you get defeated or when I defeat you, like I'm gonna absorb you, which is gonna get me to my next level. I don't know if that's like the whole thing behind him, but
I mean,
but it's so obvious to me. Like I'm like, dude, and again, Ichida sucks. I'm gonna say it.
I was gonna say, and if not, it's still like a great pawn. You know, like it's a great like bargaining chip against Ichigo, because I'm sure there's gonna come a pivotal moment in that fight coming up that, you know, Yhwach or Yhwach can potentially be like, you know, go ahead, like kill him, and he's gonna be threatening to kill Ichida, or like basically trying to cause that conflict between Ichigo and Ichida, and then, you know, that just kind of always weakens the protagonist and makes them kind of hold back. So I don't know. I just, you know where it's kind of going, but it's like, damn. Okay.
Was there any end credit stuff for this episode? Like, you know, like I normally write the word sound. Like I don't even think like I got to
Not
the
at
ending and there
all.
was like nothing. So no hints. So that's kind of interesting, because I think next week we get, you know, we're gonna start getting Jujutsu Kaisen again. So we're gonna combine this with Jujutsu Kaisen, but it's gonna be interesting if like Bleach again is gonna take like the kind of like the second half of the episode, or if it's gonna become one of those things where like, well, now Jujutsu Kaisen's kind of playing it slow, so let's put Bleach up in the front. But we'll see how it all plays out.
Or there's the live action One Piece coming out on
on
Thursday.
Yeah. And you know what? That reminds me, somebody left us a review on Apple Podcasts, and we're trying to figure out what the request was. So if that person's listening, maybe I'll bring it up again in another episode and right in the beginning. But if that person could tell us a little bit more about what you want us to talk about, because we're a little bit confused on it, please let us know, and we'll try to fill that request.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was Swarm, right? But it's just a matter of like, because there's a couple things called
A couple
Swarm,
things.
so
I'm
it's
a
like,
little bit like, I don't want to talk about the prime one, thinking they were wanting to talk about something else.
which again, happy to talk about anything, but yeah, definitely some clarity would be great.
Yeah, no.
But,
I'm always down to take fan requests.
Yes.
Or
Ooh.
that person can always join the Discord and
Ooh,
then
fan request.
talk to us there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
fan request, because I'm a fan. Can we take the opportunity of the remake, reanimated episodes of Naruto to like have another Naruto
Yes.
episode? Because even though it's all going to be episodes that like parts that we already seen, arcs already seen. It's some of the best arcs, some of the best like fight scenes, like emotional parts.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I mean, if we can just bring it up
Dude,
and cry about it.
Wait,
Reanimated.
so the Naruto
Huh?
things, they're not new stories, they're just reanimation of like...
Yeah.
This one,
So-
yeah, this thing coming out.
Yeah, I haven't verified for sure yet, but from what I'm seeing, it's going to be 4 1-hour long episodes. And the first one's going to be the tune-in exam. The second one's going to be the retrieval of Sasuke. The third one is going to be when they're looking for Itachi, and then the fourth one is the Pain Naruto battle arc thing.
Dude, that was
can you imagine seeing it?
That's already like in a freaking great animation. Like I don't understand other than making it like 4K. Like what else you can do with that?
I think I was just watching it.
I was just watching that like a week ago, and I was like, dude, this is like peak animation. So it's like, how can you make peak animation even more peak?
More flair,
it's
more colors.
Especially that Naruto like pain fight, man. Like I'm excited to see like Naruto Sage mode again, but like you said, Carlos, I don't know what kind of visuals they're gonna. Maybe they'll punch us out of like the screen, like 3D in your face.
If they would have done the old pervy one, I would have been 100% in. Versus Pain, but like I'm not skeptical. I'll wait till the first one to see how they're being done, because I haven't seen anything. Like there's no trailers, right? Like nothing.
No,
it's all very under wraps. Awesome, dude. That's gonna be exciting.
The tune-in exam, that's probably the one that's gonna benefit the most, especially if they have the whole like Rock Lee and Gaara battle, and then I'm sure they're gonna have some of the other battles for like the final part of it.
Yeah. Well, that was like early Naruto. That was like one of the earliest like arcs. So
yeah. Well, because on the screen it's still like not the full widescreen.
No. So it still sucks, man. In a world where like Goku and Vegeta are still going at it, still being the main protagonists of Dragon Ball, and they're like in their 40s, like this idea that like Naruto couldn't continue being like our main guy, and like again, I know you guys don't want to hear about Boruto, and how much like I just don't like it, Boruto, but like this idea that like Naruto couldn't continue the story, like it just blows my mind. Like guys, like you guys, like again, Goku's been doing the good fight for the last 40 years. Like you could have been like showing me Grandpa Naruto fighting whatever, and like I would have been 100% in. Like I don't understand like why they never
But I guess we had talked about that a little bit, just because it's like a moment of peace, right? It's after the Great War, so there really is no reason for Naruto to continue like fighting, which kind of sucks. But I mean, we are getting that with the
aliens.
But you know, like I know
the moon people.
But I know you haven't seen like the movies, Ramon. But like even in the movies, like there is like a European-centered country where like they use chakra, but it's something else. It's not really chakra. So like you could have made it, instead of like a nation like war, like a world war,
international.
International. Yeah. You could have brought like different ideas from like different countries. So like I think that was also kind of like something they just like dropped.
Kind of like My Hero.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know they can get creative, because I mean, even for Avatar: The Last Airbender, they are giving us that. Like they're giving us some of those stories where he's kind of like, I don't know if he's supposed to be in his 20s or what it is, but you know, basically Aang and lost time that we never really saw before we kind of obviously went up to Korra. But I don't know. I mean, I think with Naruto is just one of those, man. Like I keep hearing all these great things about the Boruto like time skip and like the manga and where it is continuing. That looks cool, but again, everybody keeps telling me not to watch Boruto. But if at one point the anime catches up to that part of the manga and you guys are like, it's amazing, I'll watch all that, because I mean, I still love at least having that world to kind of like, I don't know. But there's so much other good stuff we can be talking about for sure.
Yeah, no, like I know nothing of the Boruto, but oh my god, Boruto. Why can I say this? I know I seen some of the best fights, and like one of them really did impress me, and I think that's when they were trying to like really get attention, and and sadly, what made it really impressive was the fact that it was Naruto and Sasuke fighting together against this other being. Cool. That's what made it good. But then sadly, the fight ends with like his son doing the final blow, and I'm like, dude, get the fudge out of here! Like, what are you doing in my fight?
Bring your kids to work day.
Oh my god!
No, dude, I'll tell you that the biggest problem with Boruto, besides all the fillers, is like Boruto's not a compelling main character. Because with his dad, you had him like as his outcast, that nobody likes him, and he has like all these issues, and he's trying to become the strongest person so that everyone recognizes him, and he's just super relatable, even though he's a troublemaker and all that stuff. But like he's really easy to like. With Boruto, his dad is a Hokage, his grandpa was a Hokage. his mom is a Hyuga.
She's the princess of the Bakugan, or the Bakugan princess. So she's
Yeah,
royalty too.
Yeah, dude. So he's just not like, it's not someone that you really are compelled to like in any way.
You know who I always liked, and I would have been really interested to get more of him, but the apprentice that like Naruto taught Rasengan to, that little kid with the scarf. Like I would have kind of wished, because to me, my understanding is that he continued to grow up to be like cool. Like, so it's like, dude, I would have liked to have seen his journey trying to become like the next Hokage, knowing that he kind of, like he was kind of like,
he was in Naruto.
Like, did we ever meet who his father was? No, right? We never found out who his dad was.
Asuma's brother?
Asuma's brother, but that's about it. That's about all we know.
But that's what I'm saying. There you go. You even have a mystery with that, like who his father is. But I always thought like his journey was interesting, of like him being like Naruto's apprentice, and I would have like, because there is one animation where he tries to bring down the girl with the fan, and like he goes all out with the Rasengan, and that. And I remember that fight being like really, really cool. So it's like, I would have liked to have seen him like take the stage.
Yeah. But you know what? Like in the little time skip, like manga of Boruto that they kind of released, the sneak peek of it, like he's still not even like anything crazy. He's just the assistant to the new Hokage, which is Shikamaru. Shikamaru becomes Hokage. Yeah, that's awesome.
I found that out.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened to Naruto?
Yeah. I don't fucking know. Go watch Boruto.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. So this is why the whole time skip like leaks and they're showing a little bit of the manga. Not like it. Freaking Boruto looks badass because he's supposed to be like a rogue ninja now. Like he's like he has a big old scar through his eye. He looks great. But again, I don't know what the story is going.
Well, that's how they try to get you, because if you ever see the first episode, it starts with that time skip. Like he looks like that. Like they show him like looking like that. They show like the whole town being destroyed, and then they take you back to the beginning. So the show Boruto starts with that whole like time skip, but it just kind of like takes you back to the beginning. So that's what we're getting. We're technically getting that whole, when like how you first see him, we're getting him now in the time skip.
Man, well, hey, if we got anybody listening that loves Boruto, like tell us more about it. Like, should we be watching it? Because I don't know. I think I'm always looking for a reason to, but I don't know.
Dude, it's because you're such a big fan of the original show. Because honestly, that's the main reason why I did watch as much as I did. Because it did have two arcs that were fine, but it has so much filler that I'm skipping so much. I'm not gonna watch the fillers. Honestly, I'm not. Yeah. I don't care about Boruto as much to do that. But like my favorite parts have been his dad, Sasuke. There. And honestly, the other teammate that's the son of Orochimaru, he's to me he's more compelling, or Sasuke's daughter is more compelling than Boruto.
Yeah.
To me, I like both of them a little bit more.
Even with the glasses, right?
dude, that's the funniest thing ever. That everyone says that like only Sakura can make a kid of an Uchiha with glasses.
Dude,
we could save the Sakura hate for later.
I think we've given her hate. If you go back and watch like our Naruto like discussion about the whole thing, I think we were pretty harsh on her. But dude, to tie it back to like Bleach a little, like you guys probably don't know this, and I haven't really brought this up, and I haven't seen it. But actually, Bleach does have a spin-off show called Burn the Witch. I know nothing about it. I've never really like taken the time to like see it. A show. I'm a little bit interested to see. I think it seems like it's more like a piece of life. Like what is it called? Like those kind of animes that's like more about like your day-to-day things. Like it's
a slice of life.
A slice. I think it's more of a slice of life kind of show, but it's called Burn the Witch, and it's my understanding it's like something to do with the Bleach world, but it's just like focused on maybe like two specific characters. I don't know.
On the real world?
Yeah,
Soul Society.
I think it's in the real world. You guys can do your research, but that's something that I just kind of want to drop since we're talking about like spin-offs and other characters.
Yeah.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, but
I'm not gonna watch it, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why I haven't seen it, because nothing about it when I saw the trailers and stuff like caught my attention on it. But it could be something maybe for us to like one day kind of like check us out. But it's like Burn the Witch, based on an action fantasy one-shot manga by Kubo, and takes place in the Bleach universe. So there you go.
Okay.
So it's confirmation that it is in the Bleach universe.
I'm not big on slice of life animes though, so I don't know.
You only like the sport anime where they're like kicking
I like
balls
sports.
Yeah,
I like the sport. Blue Lock.
I mean, I'm looking
IQ.
at the character designs, and it kind of looks a little bit like Harry Potter vibes because they're riding on these like not brooms, but they're definitely riding like a witch would, you know. So like, but the character designs looks like maybe worth checking out. Maybe one of us, and by one of us I mean me, will have to like actually watch it and give a little bit of feedback on it.
I can
Talking
just
about
tell
Harry
you,
Potter, maybe we can do Mash or Mashal, or I don't even know how you pronounce it, but they call him Mash in the show.
Yeah,
the Harry Potter type One Punch Man looking anime.
I don't know.
Imagine Harry Potter One Punch Man. There's an anime called Mash.
Sounds crazy to
that's
me.
You're
making it up.
Mashal, spelled Mashle.
You and your
it's on Crunchyroll.
You're your dark web animes.
No, it's awesome. It's hilarious. It's imagine Harry Potter and One Punch Man mixed together. That's what this anime is.
I will not.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna like it. Look it up. You're gonna love it.
This is why I can't wait for this week to Jujutsu Kaisen to come back, because I'm like, give me something that I already know that I'm already following. Like, come on. Like,
there's only one season. Watch it. You'll binge it in like 2 days. Just watch it. Mashal. It's on Crunchyroll.
I'll stick with my Superman anime Max show.
Okay, I'll watch that one.
I'll continue with my 1 episode a month freaking Brotherhood.
I'm coming across all these like weird things, like, you know, like Ramon, I sent you like that TikTok about Digimon, and the next thing you know, like Amazon Prime has almost like an Evangelion Digimon movies where it's like first one, the second one, the third one. I think there's even a freaking fourth one. And like if you see the years they came out, it's like one came out in 2015, one in 2017, 2018, and then I started watching the first one. Digimon, and I started watching the first one, and the weirdest thing apart about it is like Ty's already like grown up, like he's kind of like in high school. So I'm like, okay, so this is not like a remake of the original one. This could be like completely different story. So that's something that I'm also intrigued by right now. So like, I just have way too much crap to watch.
That'd be worth checking out.
Yeah, I mean the animation style looks cool, but again, being Digimon and Digimon's not really talked about too often, that it makes me feel like maybe it's not worth it. But I'm a little bit curious. My curiosity has been grabbed by the fact that there's like 4 of these movies.
Yeah, well, I'm still waiting to talk about Zom 100 because I'm waiting for the rest of it to come out. But that's one that I definitely will dedicate an episode to, because that's pretty fun. I'm rewatching it in dub now that it's out in dub, like. Because, you know, why not?
I want to watch the movie. I want to watch the movie.
Like a lot of episodes.
The movie, so I want to check that out too.
I mean,
are they gonna finish the show, or because they've only had 5 episodes for a while, haven't they?
It's you got to look up the schedule, but I think I heard other people talk about there's some reason why, something to do where. Maybe like a holiday or something where where the show comes from. But there's reasons why, like there's been this whole trouble schedule. But there is a schedule of like release dates if you want to look that up, bro. That might help you out because
I won't.
But again,
I'll let you tell me.
No, but again, Carlos, come on, Senor Nerd Podcast, Instagram, tell us where it's at.
Well, I'm waiting for like Vinland Saga to be dubbed, because I was watching it dubbed and I'm like, there's no way I'm watching it sub. So like, I'm waiting for part 2 to be completely dubbed. So I gotta even go check that out. Yeah,
I saw a sub. It's pretty good sub.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. With even like Zom 100, like I really enjoyed it just in Japanese, but now just because like I do like that show's so great because of the colors and the visuals that I do want to like I've been rewatching like every episode for that reason, so I can actually like pay attention and just kind of like space out as I'm watching like the colorful zombies run around. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
In recent years, I love what everyone's doing with animation, where they're like just being so creative, like. With obviously with the Spider-Verse movies kind of going back a little bit, and then with the Ninja Turtle movie, they kind of threw it back to like more painting style, and then with Zom 100 kind of being so creative with the blood and the different colors, and then obviously Demon Slayer, and then Bleach kind of being awesome again with their animation.
Ro, you're so impressed with Zom 100 that if you went back and watched Fooly Cooly, you would be so impressed with the fact that they were.
I don't know what that is.
the fact that they were doing that like 25 years ago, like this, because everything that I love about Sam is because he just reminds me, like right from the beginning, he just reminded me so much of like Fooly Cooly that it's just like and like just the joy, the laughter, the animation style, how goofy it is. I like Fooly Cooly.
Where can I watch this, Carlos?
Hulu?
Yeah, what's it? Hulu. Yeah, that's where I watched it recently.
Right, I'll look it up. And then I'll let you know what my opinion is.
6 episodes, bro. Fooly Cooly.
I think it's
man.
like
it.
6
episodes. Yeah. Don't watch season 2. Don't watch season 2. Just first season.
Yeah,
that's it.
And then you'll know what Fooly Cooly really
or
means.
Will we? Because I don't even know. And then they were trying to explain that, and that's why it's a joke. Hey, that'd be a fun one, dude. Raul, watch that. Let's talk about that one, man. That's nuts.
Okay, I'll do it.
Watch it, and we'll put that in our pocket, dude. Because that one, there's some. I'll go back and watch it because there is like a storyline with one of his classmates that it's very emotional when you do think about it, like how sad she is, but she portrays this like Asuka kind of way of like handling herself, like I'm a B and I'm the boss and I'm like the class leader, but in reality she's just like so depressed and sad at home because I think her parents are maybe like getting divorced. But again, that's what I'm saying. Like Fooly Cooly is freaking incredible.
Or the worshipping of the robot as a god. That whole idea is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
bro. You'll like it. 6 episodes.
Okay.
All right. Well,
I'll look it up.
We'll update you guys on whether Raul's Fooly Cooly or not next week. But
dude, this has been the randomest recording we've done so far.
We're anxious for Jujutsu Kaisen, then we won't have time to talk about anything else. We're going to be like, all right, Jujutsu Kaisen.
No, not at all. Live action One Piece. And I saw Oppenheimer last night, so
what I'm saying
can talk about that forever.
What I'm saying is to go along with Bleach, though, because
Yeah. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys soon. Adios. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.